Alrighty, I am super happy to be back with the routines. And for anyone who didn't know, I attended the fitness festival. It's a fitness event, probably the biggest one definitely in Sweden, but might be also in the Nordics. And that was insane. It's an event or a place where they usually host a calisthenics competition that I've been attending literally every year since 2019. And I can also argue for the fact that was when my athletic career started. Not necessarily social media, that started way later, but my sort of name got out there. I battled Dan and Tom Rosenberg in the final, and this little shit from Stockholm managed to win. I was complete underdog, and I think that's also one of the reasons why I performed so well. Like, no pressure, nothing at all. I had no expectations, and I just full send. It was also the first time for me being on stage, and the energy you get from the people there is just out of this world. If you haven't competed on a stage, it's so different. And I don't know how I could handle it so well, but I did. And it just gave me this extra power. So I did Victorian for the first time, never trained for it. I was like, this feels pretty strong, so I might just send it. I always trained for straddle planche and those things. I could do full planche to some degree, but I also did some of my best full planches ever. Not until this day, but back then, during the competition. And it really just got my name out there in me being an athlete. And after that, I started to compete at FIBO. I started to compete a bit more worldwide. I think like 2 more years or 3 more years after that. 2 more, to be honest, I think. I competed at Swoop for the first time. That was also just insane. So yeah, a lot of crazy stuff happened due to it. And back to the event then. That's where I was this year as well, on the event that was the previous weekend. However, there were no competition this year, so I just attended as a visitor. I was also there with Celsius, so I was in their booth pretty much the whole Saturday, and then on Sunday I went around a bit more. But in general, I was just there to meet people, meet the community, and just spread the sport. And something I talked about a lot in the past is just, even if you're not competing, being at these events, it's something different. You just get so motivated, you feel like you also belong to something. Because for calisthenics, it may also be the case for a lot of other sports, but this sport in specific is really a solo sport. Like, you can hustle in your fucking home, in your living room, just building insane strength. You can hustle in the gym, but you're still pretty much on your own when you're doing the training. And for those ones that have a crew that they're training with, like, you are living a luxury life when it comes to the fitness side. Like, it is insanely valuable. And then for anyone who doesn't, including myself, I train a lot on my own now. It's just really nice to meet up with other people and just talk about training, talk about things that we're all so closely related to. It's super nice. So this weekend was awesome. I've never been this tired though, because you just talk so much during the days. I did film a full YouTube as well, so if you haven't seen that one, make sure to check it out after this video. I do have it on the channel, and it was super nice event. I did a lot of arm wrestling, to be honest, and did meet some professionals that do it for like a actual sport. They put all the time there, and they told me that I should actually pursue it as a career as well, which might be something to consider. Like, I really enjoy it. I'm definitely not gonna stop doing calisthenics, not at all. Calisthenics is always gonna be the #1 thing, and if there's another career, I think that would be within 1 rep max or street lifting in my case. But doing some arm wrestling stuff could be really fun, and I do enjoy it a lot, so it was super nice. But it got me tired, so I did rest for like, I think 4 days, until I actually did some activations yesterday at home, and then now it's literally 5 days since the weekend, because I was dead, so dead. But it was worth it, definitely worth it. And the plan for today is gonna be to do Maltese training. I am gonna continue straight bar Maltese, the pronated grip, and then we're doing planche, We're also gonna do weighted dips, which I think is gonna be pretty insane today. I am not gonna say much more though, because usually when I say something I jinx it, especially if I say that it's gonna be a good session. So I will just shut my mouth for that part. But we are gonna attempt 90 first and then maybe even do reps on 100. We'll see also how the setup handles it, but trust me, you gotta push the limit sometimes, especially if you have the form right. You've been doing it, which is my case right now, been doing it for a long time. I've been knowing like my body constantly progressing. I do incorporate my deload weeks, I do the things right. One thing I need to make sure then as well is that I actually push my limit, because it's so easy to be in that comfort zone, especially if you're training alone. Back to that again, if you have a coach, a third party or something that looks on you, it sees statistics, every training, everything, it can be easier for them to tell you that you can do this. But when you're only doing your schedule alone, everything is just based from your side. Emotions sometimes are connected to it, and it's just way harder to always push your limit. So that's something also that I sort of miss out on when I train alone. When you have someone else there, you can always just push slightly more, especially if someone else tells you to do it. But that's a different story. So I just make sure that I'm not gonna stay the same. I just keep pushing in a relatively good pace. Of course, not in the stupid ways I get injured, but just keeping the progress there all the time. But yeah, that is gonna be the plan. So I think that's it for today's car talk. Not really a big subject, because I feel like I just want to get back on track with the routines, which we are gonna be doing now. And I think this Christmas, everything, I'm gonna really try to keep it up as well. For me, the consistency is super important, and especially during times where most people do relax a bit more. So you are gonna see me in the gym. I am gonna train. If I don't know now if actually Christmas is on one of my training days, but if it is, I'm still gonna train. And then for a fact, the 1st of January, I will be in the gym. 100%, there's no doubt about it. I talked about that, I think, in one of my first vlogs I ever did. I am always gonna be in the gym the 1st of January. I wanna make sure I start the year on literally the top. And for all other people that doesn't train the 1st of January, which is a freaking majority, I never drink, by the way, or either on New Year's. That's not my thing. So for me, that's not the problem. It's staying up a bit late, but either way, I just sleep slightly more and then I go to the gym. Because you get so motivated by knowing that you are ahead. Already in the beginning of the game, you got a head start. And it feels so good for yourself. It's the only reason I'm doing it. Like, in theory, it's gonna be a pretty bad session. You've been up late the day before. But just for you to know that you couldn't have started this year in any other better way, that is nice. That is a really good start. So you are gonna see me there 1st of January as well. And probably most cases when there are days you just don't expect anyone to work out, I'm gonna be there, because mental strength, it feels good. Now I'm gonna stop talking and I'll see you guys inside the gym. All right, I actually don't know why I didn't think of this setup before, but after I did Victorian last session, I put the band in the rings, and then I literally have a free spot, perfect for filming, and it's literally just perfect. The only concern I had before with this gym was that really hard to record in sort of a rig, because it's just sort of metal everywhere. We have plates on the floor everywhere. It's just not really that good, and also easy to get someone else on the sort of recording, which is something I try to avoid. So this literally perfect, unless someone is doing these machines, but cardio doesn't seem to be a thing people do a lot. So that's good. Let's give it a shot. Pronated, full Maltese. Last session was pretty damn good. This time I also have my chalk with me, which is good upgrade for the grip. Fucking solid. Holy crap. And I did try to get the setup in the same height as on the other rig, so the help is pretty rough, or roughly the same, but that was freaking nuts. I think the form was pretty clean. I tried to get my bum pretty high up, but that felt solid. And trust me, if you haven't seen my video from the fitness festival, the previous one, that was also insane. I think I did like at least three Malteses on camera, and all of them were super nice. It wasn't with this grip, it was the natural grip, which is way easier in my opinion, but still just looking awesome. So I am really happy with this. Let's get some good amount of reps or rest, so the next sets are also pretty high in performance, and maybe even get better. Who knows? I had to check on that previous attempt and freaking crazy good. There are some small things we can adjust. I think angle on my back slightly too much upwards, but my leg placement and the height of them way better than usual. Way better. So that was literally awesome. And this band not helping that much. And like always, pretty much the only place I feel pain in is my thumbs, the grip. But when it comes to the position, I don't feel anything here. I don't feel any sort of exaggerated pain in my elbows or anything like that. And it's just really nice. The consistency, it actually pays off. I didn't doubt it, but this is just proof of it. Literally fucking resting. What the hell? Like, I have never seen so much progress in a skill ever before. It felt like I almost could do like small push-ups in that position. Okay, small exaggeration, but fucking felt good. So let's have a look at my performance when it came to the form with my hips. I think it was pretty alright. Felt really good, but damn. I'm just a bit mind blown, to be honest, with the progress. Insane. Fucking insane. And I also love the fact that you have been here ever since I started training for this skill. So there's not a single workout that you can't follow my progress. You know exactly how I got it. And that's what I really enjoy. Because then it's sort of a copy-paste method as well. Not everything is gonna work for everyone, but I do really love just tracking everything I do, both when it's going well and both when there are things that doesn't work. So either way, you sort of just get a way better roadmap of how to train, what works, what doesn't. And I'm here to test out a few things try to be a safe way and really share my value and the things that I figure out on the way to just save a lot of time for everyone else. But let's rest up, like 4 minutes rest. Now we already talked for 1 minute, but at least 3 more minutes and then do one final hold. Well, last set was just freaking crack. It was about 9 seconds holds. The form, probably one of the best I've done. Can still adjust slightly more with the pelvis tilt, but in general, just insane. And you know, it's weird, like I've been training for so long and I usually can predict my progress or have an estimate of how long things are gonna take. I didn't expect myself to be on this level so fast this year with this specific skill. And that is just crazy. And I think you can learn 2 things from it. Number 1 is the fact that I have recovered in a good way because I haven't had any injuries. And related to this, I had my lower back, that's definitely one thing, but it wasn't because of this, that was my front lever. But for this one, I have found a way that sort of really worked. And then the other thing is exercises that I just feel connection with, enjoy doing. I've just literally shown up all the times when I'm supposed to be here. I'm here doing my best. Had some bad workouts as well, but really finding a way that just fits me. And that at the end of the day is the goal. You have those things, you're pretty set for success. Even though I didn't expect me to succeed this fast. But let's do one more attempt and just see. It might even be 10 seconds if I perform really well. So fucking satisfied. Maybe not 10 seconds, but that was insanely good. Yeah, I'm just lost of words, to be honest, and extremely grateful for this progress. Let's move on and do supinated full planche. I don't know, I usually say that one is easier, but today I don't know. 9 seconds holds with this band. That's hard even for just a normal planche. could be worse. I think slightly towards the better side. The past trainings I do have had some problems with it. Either the full body is just tilting a bit too much downwards, I lose a bit for traction. Yeah, I think those are the main ones, or my bum is a bit too much high up. And I really focus on getting the PPT, so usually that part isn't the worst one, but let's have a check and adjust if I need something to be tweaked for the next set. All right, I had a look, and just for everyone's knowledge, there is a lot of mechanics behind the planche and a few things you sort of tweak in order to change how the planche looks. One thing is the height, and then the other thing you have also to counter that is the lean. And in this case, when I watch my videos, my height is really high up, which means the angle on my arms is not that much. However, it is possible, but the pressure then on my hips and my connection with the protraction needs to be pretty on point for me to hold that height. If I still want to have a parallel body with the ground, but not put the same amount of pressure on my core or on my sort of protraction as well, I can always lean slightly more. This moves the pressure to more of the shoulders, but reduces it, making it easier on sort of the rest of the body. So that is one thing to have in mind. And right now it looks like I can hold the height, but my legs are slightly pointing downwards, and I'm having a hard time getting it fully straight at that one. So what I'm gonna try for this one now is just lean slightly more. Yes, it's gonna be slightly harder on the shoulders, but it's easier on the core, and hopefully I will be able to hold a straight line. That's the theory behind it. Now let's put it into practice. Slightly arching on the final seconds, but I think it was a bit more lean. I did try to do it, then again, my body's really used to doing it one way, so putting focus there takes a few times until it sort of becomes a bit more comfortable. But let's have a look, and then we have one more set. Not gonna lie, the form on that one was much better. If we forget about like the 2 last seconds, I started to arch a bit, not the clean form, but the first few seconds, like 5-6 seconds I think, the lean was pretty good, but the body was really horizontal, and that is what I'm searching for. So the lean and my body positioning, the protraction, all of those things are compensating. So you gotta tweak it. So for example, if you lean a lot, it might be easier to hold a straight body, but it's gonna be really heavy on the shoulders. And this is where sort of the longer holds you wanna get, the more you want to spread out sort of the pressure. If you think of it like an overall pressure your body needs to hold, you can do it in many different ways. Either you put all that load on your shoulders, or you take some of that, put it more into the protraction and the core. And it's all just a tweaking of how much do I want to put on certain muscles. And that is where the lean and the height plays a major role. But I think the last one was more of a sweet spot for me. Not crazy long hold, but much better form. So that's where I want to be. Let's do one more set and just see if I can maintain it. Also, if you've been following me or never seen me before, these parallettes is the go-to. I've been using them for many months, ever since Coronation launched them, and they are by far my favorite, both in stability, but grip, and it just works for everything. All the planche I'm doing, all the Maltese, I never had a problem with the grip or them sliding. I of course put weights for the Maltese, but in this case it's just really nice. So if there's one parallel I would recommend, it's definitely these ones. And then of course they also had the clothing, all of these insanely good stuff, to be honest, that I just fall in love with. Back in the days I would always use the equipment, but not so much on the clothing. But now they have just stepped up the game in clothing so much as well. Like this is literally all I use. These pants you've probably seen each video. Trust me, I do wash them in between, but I did really fall in love with just this combo, and also with the tank top. I think it looks really nice. So check it out for some upgrading fashion. And code Simon, always 10% off to help you out on the financial part. Let's go. Aiming for 9 seconds would be pretty damn awesome. Definitely losing some light protraction towards the end. That's where I start arching to keep the legs up. But overall, the Maltese plus these ones, so freaking satisfied and just extremely happy with the progress. But now let's move on to another massive thing, and that is the weighted dips. Like I said, we're gonna start off with 90 kg, and then if it feels pretty good, we might give it a try on the 100 as well, just to see where we're at and to always keep stepping up the game. Let's start off. The 90 kg should be a pretty piece of cake, but I guess we'll see. Literally just a setup. Should be a law on all gyms. Just have a dip, a good dip rack, which is not that much to be honest, since tons of people doing dips, chance of getting injured, especially when you do stupid stuff like adding a lot of weight on these things. Not the best, but we do what we can. Let's pump it up. Let's do 100, and that is gonna be the new standard, because that was 9 reps. Could have done a few more to be honest, but I'm gonna do 100, aim for 8 reps. That's, I feel like, a solid number, and then take it from there. It's time. 100 kg. Now that I think of it, I thought I did 13 reps in Germany, but I did 11 reps on 100 kg. So 8 should be possible, but that is definitely a stretch. So we'll see, maybe, might be 7 or something reps, but still aiming for 8. Because you do gotta have in mind that I'm always doing this in the end of the session. Now it's just been like, the weights have always increased so much that I just really start enjoying it and put some focus here as well, to be honest. But then again, my skills are the main focus, so to some degree I can't expect myself to always just push it insanely, since it's at the end of the sessions. But we do our best. It's literally this fucking setup. Not as an excuse, but when you're pushing these weights, these small movements just get extremely exaggerated. But I think that was 7, if I didn't count it wrong. I'm gonna try to do it slightly more controlled in the next one, because I start to shake a bit too much. But that is freaking good. Let's do one more set, and I do think we can do 8 if I do it controlled, because the last thing I want to do is get injured. So yeah, one more, but control. And my playlist, always in the description. Unleash the Beast, so you know it's pretty ham when that is the title. Okay, we're going for the heart attack. Pretty dirty, but it's the drop fucking beats everything. Seven would be enough. Fucking hell. It's like you're compensating the small movements in a really bad way. Doesn't feel that healthy, so just gonna keep it to the stable reps. So I think that became sort of the new standard for the weighted dips, to be honest. Doing it 100 kg looks freaking sick as well, with 4 plates, 25 kg each. It's pretty mad. And I'm a bit unsure, to be honest, about increasing the weight even further, like just looking in the future with the setup. It's definitely not sustainable. So we'll see what I would do. I really enjoy this gym, but it has a limitation. And the best equipment I have is the things I bring myself. That's gonna be almost the case to any gym I go to, but it's harsh. So either it's a powerlifting gym, they have good setups for the dips, and then most often they have really good bars and everything, and then I bring my stuff. It's more than enough, but we'll see. I do really love this place as well, so it's a mystery that I just need to make a decision about, but that is for the future. I am actually gonna wrap it up right now. I will do 2 sets of hyperextensions pretty quick. I'm not gonna do the setup with recording, and then I'm pretty complete because I need to go, and to be honest, I am super happy with this session and don't want to push it that much harder. The core now, we can do a bit more, but the upper body, pretty finished. And as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, I am gonna be back with my routines now. No major plans. We of course have Christmas, we have New Year's, but it doesn't matter too much. I'm still gonna be on the same grind, same schedule when it comes to training, and yeah, a lot of things happening. And then in January, I mentioned before as well, not today, but in the past, I will be going to India, which is gonna be insane. I will also try to do a vlog for that one. I'll be there as a judge, doing most likely some performances as well, but meeting up, and I really want to share that as well. It's completely new for me, never been to India before, so it's gonna be one hell of a trip and something to remember. So I do want to capture it as well for me to look back on, but also to bring you guys on that journey. And yeah, if you want to follow along on literally everything that's happening in the future, which is gonna be a lot of stuff, both training wise, content wise, just so much stuff. Hit that subscribe, because otherwise you are gonna be missing out. And hit like if you did enjoy today's video. It was pretty damn sick of a session. See you guys in the next one. Choo-choo!